Hello everyone and welcome to episode 34 of the Made of Things podcast. I am your host, António Maria Correia, and on this episode our guest is Hval, a brilliant artist from Norway. And this conversation is already up on YouTube, which is the main platform for Made of Things now. But I'm still going to do the podcasts so you can listen to Made of Things on the go and also hear me commenting on the news of the world. Yeah, so which is Made of Things is where you get all your information, I'm sure. So on this episode we have Hval, but I haven't yet talked about something that happened quite a while ago, actually a couple of months ago now, which was the Eurovision Song Contest, or as the Swedish say it, the Eurovision Song Contest. Now, I have never been one to care in the slightest for Eurovision Song Contests, and it's not even because Portugal has a traditionally terrible relation with the contest. We basically always come in last place, and that's when we even get to qualify. And it's not because of that, because I don't care about that at all. I've just always thought that it was made of generally terrible music, and for the most part, this is still true. However, last year I gave it a shot and found at least one song that turned out to be really impressive actually, and that made me want to watch this year once again. Now, on top of the incredible visual effects on stage, the music seems to be getting a little better from what I remembered. Either way, even if it isn't, I will recommend the 2015 winner of the contest, even though it's an EDM song, but it's a really good one at that. So this was the Swedish entry, which was called Heroes and was sung by Måns Zelmerlöw, who apparently was already quite the famous person in Sweden. So go check that out, and it's both emotional and fun, and very maximalist, I would say. So I decided to start watching Eurovision since last year's winner was actually really good. So I caught up on the contest and was rooting for Latvia. Last year my favorite was Sweden and they turned out to win the thing. This year Latvia didn't really get any points, so that's more of what I'm used to. And I thought I should give you guys a rundown on all the Eurovision participants. Sweden proved they are ahead of everyone else in the Eurovision game, as they almost reached actual decent artistry, with a somewhat contained and minimalistic ballad of sorts. Opposite to that, Azerbaijan's entry seemed like its producers tried writing a song with absolutely every element on top, so that was the moment when all the Eurovision ears bled most heavily. Latvia, as I said, was my favorite. They had this leather jacket young dude singing a dance music house song with hard vocals, and those actually seemed legit. But no one else really seemed to care much for that, apart from me, I guess. And I know 2 points? I don't remember. You see, in Eurovision, and this is opposed to what happened last year, audience tastes tend to be on the terrible side. This explains the good voting in entries such as Austria gets. It was this sort of bouncy countryside song, sounding like it came from Germany, but actually coming from Austria, but with French lyrics. I'm guessing because Germany didn't want to be Germany. It was dreadful. Also terrible was Cyprus. Now, I'm a fan of lots of metal music, but these guys were clones of the band Melechesh if they gave pop music a go. And they pretty much forgot that Eurovision audiences aren't that crazy about guitars or heavy music. Also, the song was shit. Regarding the biggest countries in Europe, we had the United Kingdom, with two guys that looked like a One Direction clone band with aspirations of Coldplay, with a moderate, just okay song, and they got moderate, just okay points for it. Russia had a singer who looked like Lionel Messi if he had been styled by Cristiano Ronaldo, that's in Portuguese, singing a pretty lackluster song and sitting on a video screen, and that wowed pretty much everyone to the point of almost winning. Spain's singer looked like a sneaker made of gold and disco music, singing the less Spanish song of all time. On the other hand, you had Italy and France. Italy had an obvious Francesca woman singing a classic ballad in Italian because fuck you, while France had the Scruffmeister dude in a suit singing EDM in French, also because fuck you. Germany had a bizarre entry with a weeaboo girl dressing up like former virtually unknown WWF wrestler Max Moon, and a Carmen Miranda impersonator singing a song about trees, I think. Then you had other countries such as the Netherlands. They chose to go country music music. Their song had a terrible chorus, and was sung by tattoos on the chest dude with probably no other body mods. Then we had Israel, with a glitter dude that had foppish hair, going the ways of a classic ballad, but no one cared. Georgia had a confusing rock song that went techno on the bridge, with Andy Bell of Oasis and BDI on bass. Also, the song forgot to be any good. Bulgaria went EDM City, when a girl in dark lips and flashing circles sung something that resembled being current, so points were awarded. Lithuania had an odd eyebrow guy with a forgettable song, getting a high score for a seamless front flip in mid-song. Malta presented a charming pregnant lady going disco, but who also couldn't move, getting points for being pleasant. Armenia put forward an exotic beauty with killer vocals, who forgot to write a song but sung the shit out of it. Points-wise, it was mid-card. Croatia also had a woman in a cool dress, but with everything else being a bit off, from her hair to the actual song. Belgium's inoffensive disco song was strangely rewarded, while the Czech Republic said hi to Celine Dion. Poland went obviously metal, but then anti-obviously anti-metal, when the musketeer with an extremely soppy singing style did this unnecessarily dramatic ballad. It was saved last minute by the public vote. Serbia's entry was sung by something that looked like a goth Pirelli tires team doing something, I guess, and in the case of Hungary, I honestly thought Imagine Dragons would have had a chance this year. But in the end, we had somewhat of a surprise winner. It was mostly a surprise to me, considering I never watched the Eurovision Song Contest, and didn't think any of the countries with smaller economies would have a chance of winning, so the winner this year was the Ukraine. The Ukraine singer was a girl who made it real by singing about war through the means of a barely pulled off British breakbeat with pivotal beats in the wrong place and some random Arabic orchestration. Europe apparently loved this. I couldn't end my report without talking about Australia. I know what you're thinking, which is what probably everyone else in the world is thinking, which is, hey, isn't Eurovision supposed to be just with European participants? Yes, Francis, but why shouldn't Australia be able to enter? Maybe you're right, Steph. I guess I don't see a problem with that as long as it is symbolic. Actually, Francis, Australia gets voted like everyone else and can actually win. Oh, I care about anything. Thank you, Francis and Steph, for acting this out for us. I'll explain it to you. As a matter of fact, I can't explain it to you. Australia is just in it, so there you go. And they had a real shot this year, when a Korean girl with insane singing skills totally killed it, really, with one of the best songs of the show. So Australia doesn't win the contest because Europe. Australia also decided to go Korean with their jury host, which probably confused many European people and some Australian people too. It's all good though. One last thought regarding the participants. Australia was on the verge of winning Eurovision. Portugal doesn't even enter. I guess this is what we mean when we talk about a crisis in Europe. So, other highlights of the Eurovision Song Contest were that in Sweden, comedy bits on television are actually funny. Another thing was that Måns Zelmerlöw, which was last year's winner and this year's host, is so likable the audience could just explode. Which was what almost happened when Justin Timberlake took the stage to perform. Eventually, he won Best in Show and just killed it because of course he would. Oh, and I almost forgot the quote of the night. A presenter said, and this is totally true, and I quote, "If there is room in the heart, there is room in the butt." End of quote. Certainly words to live by and an inspiring philosophy. Okay, so keeping things in Europe, but not necessarily. Here is my conversation with Jenny Hval at Vodafone Meshfest in Lisbon, Portugal, late last year.
Just a tiny bit of vertigo, no problem.
Oh yeah, I apologize.
It might be good that you are not far away because you're recording the sound.
No, this is actually pretty great.
Yeah,
actually.
good.
So,
It's recording.
I get this constant feeling this is a shaver.
yes, I know. It does look like
Every single time, like.
And it's really, it does look like that sometimes, and feels
good, though.
feels
Cool.
oddly not very unlike it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And he has another one that just looks like a taser.
Oh yeah, it's actually over there. Over there, it does look like a taser. Either razors or shavers or tasers. I mean, they rhyme. It's the same to me. Shavers,
Yeah.
the shavers.
Erasers.
Fantastic. But this is, Jenny, you might want to say hi by scratching the surface of the mic.
Okay. Hello. You're very gentle when I scratch something. I think of pets and dogs and things.
I wish my microphone was a dog or a cat or some sort of pet. What's your favorite sort of pet?
Dog.
Dog.
Yeah. I've grown up with dogs, so I love them.
Okay. Which breed?
I grew up with like true Norwegian or Scandinavian dogs. One German Shepherd, or two German Shepherds actually, and a Swedish Lapphund, which is maybe you don't know this.
No, I do not know this, but everything is Googleable. So.
It's a kind of small. It's not like a husky, but it's black and smaller. But it's like almost like a Samoyed, but smaller and black, and it barks a lot. And apparently it has this special bark. I know this is horribly uninteresting, but it has a special bark that's sort of sung in a different tone. Oh. So that because it's herding like reindeer, so it's meant to be. Hello, I'm not scary. Hello, get your asses out of there. I'm not going to eat you. So it's not this. It's a different kind of bark, but it's still really annoying. And I used to hear it at school when I was in school, and it was about at least a kilometer away, and I was hearing it like all day long.
But apparently, it's not a yippee bark. It's not like.
No. It's not the Chihuahua. It's not the rat bark.
Okay. So it's more like a weird howl. Okay, cool. That's fantastic. See, this is totally new info. I'm pretty sure, like no one from at least from here will know what you're talking about, which is awesome. I think
it might also be slightly untrue, as I'm not the specialist.
Slightly untrue. It's my middle name.
I could also add that the first song I wrote and recorded on my own was. About that dog. So maybe I even started singing because of that special bark.
As a solo artist, or in that band that you had, the metal one.
No, solo artist. I mean, I wasn't an artist. I was just on my own, lonely girl recording. Yeah.
And because metal songs about dogs might be something that never has existed before. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm not metal songs about dogs. Something that should exist.
I'm sure there's hounds of something. There's always hounds of something. Yes,
werewolves.
Wolves and
it's
werewolves.
All the same thing.
So it's
all puppies.
Okay. So and Canis lupus, the werewolves. Exactly. So Canis lupus is the name of the metal album waiting to happen. So
right.
I'm pretty sure that it exists already. I mean, what am I talking about? But
and never underestimate death metal. Death metal is all about werewolves.
Well, werewolves, exactly. May I just ask, how do you pronounce your last name? It's just Hval?
Hval.
Okay.
Don't worry about the H.
Okay. I've been pronouncing the H out of pure lack of knowledge, I guess. Lack of Norwegian knowledge. So, okay, Jenny Hval. Okay, fantastic. Because easy on the H. Easy on the H, mister. Apocalypse girl, commas. Is that the way you're supposed to pronounce the album name? Apocalypse girl.
Apocalypse, comma, girl.
Are you supposed to say the comma? Okay.
No. But you're supposed to be aware of it because it's not the Marvel superstar, superhero.
Absolutely. Okay.
I mean,
I understand.
That would be a person with the special powers of Apocalypse. Interesting, but something else.
There's so much nowadays is just syntax and where you put the commas, I guess.
Maybe.
Mostly
about putting them wrong
Yes,
in the wrong place.
sure.
I don't know if you have that here, that people, like lots of shops have right, like the name of the shop is incorrect because it's resembling English or something. That this is very common in Norway. People put in apostrophes.
It is completely out of place.
I understand.
Completely out of place.
Oh, people don't know where.
I have no idea what a possessive is.
Yeah, exactly. They never know. This is true though, and it's a pet peeve of mine. Actually, not necessarily a pet peeve. I just really dislike it.
It is. Your
It is.
pet peeve.
It is. Because
Everybody's.
I think that everyone knows how to write. I think, or like some sort of formal, order.
Yeah, but
If you make it, if you open a shop, it should be correct. Because it's going to annoy people for years and years. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you really want to annoy people so that they come in and shop in your shop. But that's sort of old.
Yeah.
That's been used before.
And why,
Sure.
especially, why use another language when you can use your own? If you're going to use it incorrectly, just don't.
Well,
Oh,
that
yeah,
sounds sounds like a record review of my work, doesn't it?
No. And I sing in English too.
Yes, Jenny. What are you doing?
It's a good description, I think. Truly.
Has anyone ever pointed out to you anything that in English, by the way, in a more serious? Actually, has that happened at any point?
I'm always hoping to get the record review where people actually go through my lyrics and just like with a red pen and say this is wrong and this is wrong and this is wrong, but it's never happened.
Oh, okay.
I guess, I mean, you sort of have to. People have to take seriously these days the fact that a lot of people are writing in English as a second language, and it seems like a lot of listeners are quite happy to just go with it and just see it as something interesting that is kind of exploring language in a way they couldn't.
It's funny, it's true because, for instance, over here was something speaking about pet peeves, or this is something I actually actively dislike, not just a pet peeve. Pet peeves is like, well, okay, sure, this is something that kind of gets on my nerves. This is something I really, really dislike, which is Portugal has a specific accent, which I cannot do speaking in English, and which I'm not even able to explain to you how it is. But it's been very much used in music for the past few decades, but it's starting to go away. Now people have developed, have dropped that weird accent, and but it's funny because it's turned around on its head. And when you look at, for instance, French artists singing in English, it's always affected. It's always very French, and it's kind of endearing in a way. It's kind of cute, And I'm not sure if people from abroad would listen to Portuguese music or the Portuguese accent in English, and then would go like, this is kind of cute. I like this, So, but still, I can't tell in your music at all. So
have you heard the Norwegian English accent before? It is pretty bad. Would you like not to hear it ever in music?
I think it's really cute, actually.
I think it's really cute.
This is how Norwegian politicians speak.
But that's cute. I like it.
Really?
I like it.
I mean, the problem is the intonation. It's like a dead person. It's zombie language.
It's funny because that reminded me of someone I heard speak English about 15 years ago on TV, which was he was from Norway. He's actually now since forever, I guess, in Turbo Negro, and Knut from Euroboys, or Correia and the Cavemen. Speaks exactly like with that accent. This just came to me.
Probably not as bad.
No. He's pretty good. But that's like the way there's tiny details that
You know that they control the culture scene in Norway now.
Really?
They become older, and one of them has a TV show.
Oh.
It's turned into some kind of satire. And Knut Scheiner, he's now. he's now like more of a critic,
Really?
as well as still playing in the band.
Oh. So is it taboo speaking of Turbo Negro? Is it taboo to speak of Turbo Negro?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay, cool.
But
That's
I mean,
good.
I've never really been a part of that scene. So I mean, it wouldn't be taboo to speak of them, but it definitely would not be. I would definitely not be the right person to speak with.
Sure.
Because I don't actually know a lot.
Okay, that's sure.
But they're a big thing, and they have quite a bit of control over, quite a bit of power in the culture scene in Norway.
That's interesting, and cool, because at least they don't suck, Because sometimes what tends to happen is maybe people who are in control just produce crap and
or don't produce anything at all.
And they're still creatively active, so it's fine. Okay, so enough of Turbo Negro. On your videos, there is recurring presence of, I hope I'm pronouncing their names right, but Zia Anger and Annie Bielski, especially on your latest videos. And I've seen performances of them on stage. Did you bring them with you or no? Okay.
I need tons of money.
Because
I need tons of money for the flights. Give me money.
Okay. Of course, because it's worth it.
It's no, it's actually not. We don't need that much money, but it's more that we need to have because for them to be able to come over here, you can't just do one show. You can't spend all that flight petrol. And then have one show.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I mean, I even try to avoid doing one-offs because of that. I just need to no. But we've been good. We've been traveling, and I've been able to bring them when I've had like a longer run of shows, and it's been amazing. But they've also had a lot of impact on what I do without them, which has been great. It's like continuous development of something that also exists without them. It's like I'm on stage now writing letters to them.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
that's cute. And how much money do you spend on wigs, for instance?
Well, I have a bit of a wig budget, I must admit, but they're very, very cheap. They usually, most of my wigs are under 10 euros each. Okay. But I've probably bought about 20 of them.
Oh, because
one time we had 9 people on stage, and they all had to have wigs, didn't they?
Yeah, of course.
So
seems obvious to me. And how many wigs per person? How far do you go?
I just tried to have enough for whoever's with me. Although now it's just me.
Okay.
I got a new one in Manchester. So I'm excited about that tonight.
And how is it?
It's very natural compared to many of the others in terms of how I've had some terrible ones. The one Annie's been wearing in particular is like, it's like stepping into plastic. But this one seems natural, and it's really weird. I've become used to this kind of plastic smelling horror. And then all of a sudden this was bought in a wig shop that was selling a lot of natural hair. So it was slightly more expensive, but it wasn't, I could never afford the real ones. But it's a particular kind of it's a very particular type of shop. When you go into a wig shop, it's very interesting.
Do you get them pre-styled, or do you like to style them yourself?
No, I buy them and then I wear them. I like the look of something prefabricated, because that's really what the wigs are. They're made to look sexy, usually in a sort of stereotypical way, and I kind of like that. I feel like when I'm wearing that, something doesn't fit, but I'm really enjoying exploring that. And I feel it brings out a certain type of emotion as well, a bit like the kind of emotion you would have if you went through a lot of plastic surgery, but you would still be your age,
Yeah.
The sadness and attempts of playing a role that you'd really it's doomed, isn't it?
I'm assuming it feels kind of detached. There's some detachment in the physicality of it, I guess, in emotional terms. I mean, so because you have that, you're wearing that as something feels Does it throw you off? Is it something that is it a catalyst for your expression? I would say this is a very serious question, but
I think so. It's what am I looking for?
For instance, when you're
Crown of sadness.
Oh, it's a crown of sadness.
Modern crown of
Oh.
sadness.
Oh.
And then I use my iPhone a lot on stage, and that is like, what do you call it? The scepter?
The scepter.
Scepter, yeah.
Scepter, yeah.
Scepter of sadness. And then I have the yoga ball, which is the throne of sadness.
Oh, okay.
So, it's a complete set.
It's a complete, the trifecta of sadness.
Yeah. Very nice.
This goes on a podcast called Made of Things. And what are
Made of Things?
Made of Things.
Mm-hmm.
And you like that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I just described 3 things, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. So, what were the top? What made them? No, but top 3 things that have made you as an artist. You think that have made you dedicate yourself to this, apart from Wigs, of course. Obviously.
Well, we have to say then, apart from Wigs and yoga balls and iPhones.
And eggs, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of eggs.
Top 3 things.
Like that moment when you clicked.
Yeah.
And said, like, I want to be an artist. I can be an artist.
Yeah, I really want to do this pretty much as long as I can.
I would have to say primary school hallway. That's one thing.
Uh-huh. I get that. I understand.
The letter O. Oh no, 2 things. That was perfect. Now I'm just looking out to find an object. A pool, maybe.
Pool, swimming area.
Blood.
Blood. No blood inside, though. I guess. Where is there any blood inside?
Pool. So maybe that. Pool of blood.
Oh, pool of blood. Okay.
Let's say pool of blood.
Pool of blood. Pool of blood. So signing off on Pool of Blood. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Thanks so much. So that was my conversation with Jenny Hval. Thanks for listening, guys. I would say go to YouTube and check out Made of Things on there. So thanks for listening and see you soon.